Nick Pezarro here with another cast. This time, CIS versus LGD Gaming. This is the best of 5 at the end of the China qualifiers. Some pretty standard bans coming up here. Ban on Bat, ban on Ancient Apparition. 2 really strong heroes, very popular heroes. Currently, Bat Rider because he has that crazy initiation, just good in every lane pretty much, and too difficult to stop. Ancient Apparition because of his chilling touch and his ultimate, very strong hero as well. Naga ban's a little bit different. The Chinese teams do love playing Naga Siren because of her ability to initiate. They're fans of the Wombo combo per se. She's a good support, and later on she can become a carry hero. I actually like playing Naga a lot.
5 seconds.
She got banned recently though, so she's a little bit less viable, unfortunately.
Reserve time.
So we'll see what the next ban is. I wouldn't be surprised to see a ban on CIS. I think is on the dire side. So, well, actually, they might not ban. Oh, so they banned Lycan. Yeah, a ban on Lycan makes sense. Invoker first pick. Invoker, very strong mid hero. The Tornado EMP combo, very strong. Can go into Cold Snap and Forge Spirits. Sunstrike, always good for setting up combos, taking out people on the map. Just a pretty great hero overall. And CIS now has a chance to counter with 2 picks. We'll see if they choose to counterpick the Invoker with something like an OD. It's pretty strong against OD mid, but then LGD can counter that by
10 seconds
grabbing another hero and putting Invoker safe lane solo or something like that. So it's not always the best idea to go for the Invoker counter right away, but he's a really annoying hero. I hate playing against Invoker. I'm not very good as Invoker. I should learn Invoker. But anyways, so generally I try to ban him because I just hate playing against him. Sand King has increased popularity since the Blink Dagger buff. Lifestealer, an interesting pick. We haven't seen much Lifestealer, or at least I haven't seen much Lifestealer in the other regions. He was really popular during TI4. He's kind of fallen off a bit since then. With carries that are sort of more stronger in the early game, getting picked more often. But Lifesteal's a pretty sweet hero. The built-in magic immunity, the lifesteal, the slow that gives them extra health, and the infest. Just a lot of survivability on Lifestealer. His biggest problem though is being able to keep people in place while he's attacking them. So sometimes you'll see Lifestealers go what they call the race car build. So you just get a bunch of items that make you go really quickly. Drums, Sanshasha, booth travel eventually, that kind of stuff. And then that way you can chase them down. You don't have to worry about holding them down. Treant Protector. I don't like Treant, but my opinion of Treant's kind of been changing lately, I guess. People have been demonstrating he's quite strong still. He's sort of like... The deal with Treant is he's really good in the early game. That living armor, you can save people in lanes all over the map. You can heal your towers up. You can like make your mid lane just basically win because you just keep healing them and preventing all that damage. The problem with Treant is that he sort of trails off
Reserve time.
pretty significantly in the mid game. But if you're able to land his ultimates and leech seeds and stuff effectively and use his invisibility to your advantage, then you can actually continue ramping up with Treant and doing pretty well. So as long as you're able to like make best use of his abilities, he's a little bit trickier to play super effectively throughout the game. But if you're able to do that, then he's a pretty solid hero to pick. So yeah, I guess Treant's regained my respect because he did lose some of it. Mirana ban. Mirana, popular hero. She's had a really good win rate in the qualifiers, just so strong. If you're playing, gosh, I'm talking too quickly. If you're playing as, if your player on your team is good at Mirana, then you're in a pretty good spot because she has a ton of burst damage with Starfall. You can hit those arrows. It's a 5-second cooldown, or sorry, 5-second stun, which is just pretty devastating for anyone getting hit by that. And then her ultimate allows for great initiation, and then obviously Leap as an escape. So all around, she's a pretty sweet hero to pick. So it makes sense for her to be banned. Lich ban. Cold armor on buildings now. Eggs alt doesn't really matter that much, but Sacrifice makes him a really strong laner in conjunction with Frost Nova. Ban on Morphling is interesting. He hasn't been popular for a while. but he started being more popular now. We're sort of seeing, it's interesting, we're seeing a resurgence of these heroes that were popular in the previous tournament, in previous, like last year's tournament. I don't know, maybe it's the type of, the way the tournament's built that sort of pushes people towards playing like that or something, or I guess they're just seeing a resurgence, people are re-examining them. Ban on Enchantress. CIS doesn't want to have to deal with the potential push lineup, and I think that do Enchantresses, not sure if Enchantress impetus goes through
10 seconds.
goes
10
through
seconds remaining.
Lifestealers and Magic Immunity, but she's a pretty great hero,
5
and
seconds.
there's some fun shenanigans you can do if Lifesteal jumps in a creep, like say his own creep, waiting for a chance to get out. You could potentially grab control of the creep and then like bring him to a place where he's to bring him to a place for him to die, basically, and he can't escape. But that's a pretty unlikely scenario. I don't think that's why they chose to ban Enchantress. Probably just don't want to deal with her coming out and ganking lanes and pushing. Yeah. So next pick for CIS game, based on I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what they're gonna pick. They're probably gonna run a tri lane with the Sand King and the Lifestealers. This is gonna be a ranged support there, and then a mid and an off laner. Based on what's available right now, they might go for maybe, I don't know. Centaur's been pretty popular off lane, but it's not going to fit well with their team makeup because they'll have like all melee. Kind of curious to see who will pick his off lane. So Nature's Prophet off lane, that's a good choice. Really strong hero. I mean, you can delay him, you can beat on him, but if you give him 5 minutes, suddenly he has a Midas and he's farming and he just keeps accelerating his farm and he's pushing down your towers. He can TP anywhere, he can gank lanes, he can snipe couriers. It's a really great hero, and there's a reason why he's so popular. Just that ability to teleport makes him such a strong hero. We'll see who LGD chooses to pick against this.
10 seconds remaining.
They might choose to pick up some heroes that interfere with Nature's Sprout and his ability to escape. Rubik, a good hero. Not necessarily against Nature's, but just a good hero overall. Can steal spells. Has a really strong skill set. That stun is just crazy if you use it properly, because you're stunning them in place, but you can also displace them a certain distance towards you. So it's like a stun and a displacement, and you can stun other people. So Wind Ranger might be going mid, actually. I'm imagining Nature's Prophet will be in the offlane, although he could potentially jungle or do anything really. But so this might be a Wind Ranger middle against the Invoker. Wind Run quite good at stopping you getting completely destroyed by Cold Snap. One of Invoker's favorite tools when he's against solo mid is to Cold Snap and use his Forge Spirits and just throw out a ton of damage that way. Wind Run on Wind Ranger helps with that.
Remaining.
And they buffed it recently, I think. It used to not dodge attacks.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it used to not dodge attacks that were already incoming, but they've changed it so that it evades incoming projectiles, so a slight buff there, and that would make a difference in the case of Invoker. So as he has some a projectile incoming, she could use Wind Run to dodge that projectile and stop even the first hit of Cold Snap from proccing. I mean, oh, Doom. So CIS right now have a very strong physical damage lineup with some magic damage mixed in, whereas LGD has more of a like a spell-based lineup. Or right-click or physical damage lineups tend to
10 seconds remaining.
do better in the late game because there isn't really too many ways to build on your skills.
5 seconds.
In the same way that you can just build up your physical damage. So we'll see how they do in terms of outlasting each other. This is so ban on Slark.
Radiant team ban.
Doom's really good against Slark, and you could just grab. This could be a Slark off lane. Slark's a pretty strong hero. This lineup does have some AoE, but still strong against them. So they might have chosen to ban Slark because if they have Doom on their team, then they can pick Slark without worry of that preventing them from being able to counter him. So I imagine they're going to pick their last support here, and I'm not sure who they're going to pick. LGD also, on the previous point, LGD might have picked Rubik because they like Rubik, but also because Doom is a really good spell to get, and if you grab the Rubik, then he's on your team. You don't have to worry about the spell being stolen.
10 seconds.
That might have been part of the
remaining.
motivation. Only way to know for sure, obviously, is to ask the players
5
themselves.
seconds.
They're all in China, and I'm not famous enough yet, so maybe one day I'll come back and ask them.
Reserve
They
time.
probably won't remember. Yeah, so I'm just kind of curious to see who the last pick's going to be for both teams. Pretty important pick here. Okay, so CIS being sneaky,
Team.
end up choosing the Outworld to counter the Invoker, but like I mentioned, if you pick Outworld too soon, you can get counterpicked against him. You can throw Invoker in another lane. So now they're leaving it up to LGD. They picked the rest of their lineup. They probably have an ideal lane set up in mind. And now LGD has to decide, well, do we run a safe lane Invoker or an aggro try or something? Or do we just put Invoker against OD? And OD against Invoker is pretty rough for the Invoker because, well, basically any int hero.
Remaining.
OD's gaining damage and you're losing damage straight up. Like, he's stealing your intelligence. He's going to gain that intelligence, the base attack damage from that intelligence, and you're going to lose that. It's a zero-sum game with OD being clear winner every time. You also pretty much lose the ability to cast your spells unless you have some really low-cost spells. So people try to lane things like Razor, like Viper, against OD mid. They could do this. We'll see what they decide to do. But pretty tricky on CIS's part because that kind of forces LGD out of their game plan a little bit. So we'll see what they choose to do against that. And they're definitely taking their time. This is an important decision to make.
10 seconds remaining.
So Weaver. So Weaver's going to go off lane, I imagine. Probably Invoker in mid. And then the tri lane with Rubik, Treant, and Doom. CIS is a little bit more difficult. I do think that Windrunner is actually going to be supporting, Wind Ranger, going to be supporting Lifestealer and Sand King. Lifestealer with Sand King helping as well, and Nature's off lane. It's kind of a nice match, or synchrony, or synergy between Nature's and Wind Ranger, because if you Sprout, then it's like there's trees all around them, completely surrounding them, so it's pretty hard to fuck up your Shackle in that case. So there might be a Shackle en route, or he might be stuck in the trees, and then you got a nice stun there. Sand King also synergizes well with the Sprout. He can stun through the trees, so the guy's stuck. The only one who doesn't really would be a Lifestealer, but he's probably beating on other people during that time. I think, based on these picks, I'm going to make a prediction. Based on these picks, I don't know much about either team, so this is just based on the picks. Well, I do know LGD, but I don't know CIS very well. So based on these picks, I'm gonna say that I'm liking CIS's picks. I really like Nature's. OD's a solid hero. Lifesteal also a great hero. So yeah, they're gonna go aggro try here. They're gonna put Nature's in the safe solo, I think, or they might just be going for a gank. It's kind of hard to tell exactly. Doom bottom, and is that an aggro try top? So very interesting. So Doom here is expecting to be against just a solo Nature's, which might be the case later on potentially, but they're actually going here for a gank down to top or to bottom, and we'll see if they manage to spot the Doom map or not. Rest of them setting up Invoker mid. He's got the Blaze of Attack to try and compensate for his pitiful base damage. So here, Sand King throws down the ward. This will block the camp and also provide vision on the pull. They're expecting a tri lane here, but it's going to be Doom just by himself. But he's not going to get much for him by himself. Might work out for them though. If Doom manages to survive, he still gets experience. He can still get a decent amount of gold and also hang out in the jungle if he likes. If he'd seen that, he could have grabbed Devour and ate it. I don't know if it would have been ideal for him to do so, but anywho. These guys. Okay, so it's gonna be offlane versus offlane here. Doom safe solo bottom, and then an aggro try. Weaver really friggin' annoying in a tri lane because he can run through all your guys. He's also very hard to pin down. Doom's gonna get the DD. That'll help him with less hitting. Nature's sending out the tree, hoping to pull the creeps to his tower, so he gets a little bit of a safer time there doing it. Not sure if he'll be successful. At least I think that's what he's doing, unless he's just checking the force. Yeah, he's just checking the force to make sure he's not going to get gibbed. by a whole group of people. He might also be blocking the camps actually, so he's going to block this top camp as well. Rabbit's going to be looking for a nice creep to pick up, and he's going to ignore the tree and go ahead and probably eat the Wild Ring Ripper. So, oh! Jeez. These guys wrapped around for a gank on OD. OD early on, pretty difficult to get away with him. All he has is the trap, and against 3 heroes, not much you can do. My bad for missing that. Damn it. So Rabbit, wanting to get a different creep, but has both these camps blocked because of the tree and the ward, ends up having to grab the Wild Ring Ripper. Not exactly the most useful creep to grab, but it'll do. LGD often, nice quick start. Not sure why CIS is pausing. But this first blood for the Invoker helps Invoker land against the OD. And they actually might have waited, based on the fact that he has the Intelligence Steal on him, they might have actually waited for Black to use his imprisonment on Invoker and then gone in, so he has no disable on guys who will really screw him over, which are Rubik and Train Protector with their abilities. LGD Rabbit here, pretty happy just to fight off against the Natures. Nature's also pretty happy, so this is a good lane for both of them. We'll see who ends up winning it based on like skill, I guess. Wind Ranger using her arrow to get sight. Lin really wanted to get the hit off there with his stupid, not stupid, but infuriating. Oh, Treant with the boots. We've seen a few Treant builds like this, so you go boots first. He's already pretty tanky. He doesn't really need a stout shield, and that way you get those big 88 damage punches off, which are pretty brutal if you're able to do that consistently. So OD working down on Yao, taking advantage of that base damage. He's got pretty much like twice Invoker's damage almost, and he's able to deny him pretty handily or easily, as long as he doesn't mess up. Additionally, if you're able to, you can use your imprisonment to fuck up their last hits. Sand King pretty low, so is Lifestealer. They're just suffering against this lane right now. Rabbit pretty happy against the Natures. He does have this extra armor, which, although probably not quite ideally the creep he wanted to get, might have wanted to get a wolf or a harpy or something. That extra armor does help because he's pretty squishy, and that way the harass will do a lot less damage. Good 20% less. So DD going to grab this Invis rune, maybe? Or he's just spotting for Invoker? Not sure what exactly he's planning on doing. Lifestealer here taking advantage of the pull to work on the camp in the jungle. Gonna let the last range creep fall. Wind Ranger looks like she's trying to... Oh, nice. She gets the last hit, and she's probably going to finish off the little guy and then back up. So that's some nice experience there for the support in the aggro try. Or, sorry, the safe lane against the aggro try, which is working out pretty well for LGD. They managed to do quite a lot of damage and sort of harass them down. Weaver struggling a little bit to get last hits into the tower, although if we look at... oops, I have the sorting messed up. If we look here at this, Lifestealer is actually getting one more last hit than Weaver. But I think overall, that first blood has helped a lot with LGD. Rubik ends up grabbing the Invis. It's a little bit more useful on Rubik than it is on Treant. I don't know if they do know about this, but we'll see what happens. DDC waiting for the chance to jump. No opportunity. Yao gonna keep try and stay strong here. He does have a ton of plus damage now that he's gotten a few levels, and he's actually out damaging OD slightly. Those levels in Exhort help a lot with the damage. That's 18 damage plus the damage on the face boots. So this is where he starts to even out. OD does have the early advantage though. Bottle on Rabbit gonna help him sustain against the and he leaves. Does he leave one charge? Yeah, he leaves one charge. So we've seen people doing this. Decides F the Wild Wing Ripper. I'm just gonna go with the ice armor. It's a little bit more useful, and I can up my armor that I have even more.
Denied.
This helps him kind of just get in there and get the denies off, even though he's being harassed by Inflame. LGD going on June. They do manage to get the bug on him, but he's going to back up and survive just barely. Close fight. DDC didn't manage to get his zap thing off. That's the strength of Lifestealer. You get attacked and you rage, and then it kind of sort of disables your opportunity to do damage. Demons with a quick sandstorm, and IO dropping off to the side there managed to avoid being ganked. OD winning the mid lane right now in the last hits, and denies. So even though Invoker got that, sucks for him he missed there. Even though Invoker got that first blood, he's still doing well. Oh, Rabbit almost falling, gonna use his salve. Inflame really bullying him, going for phase boost for that extra damage. And he's probably gonna want to grab, one of these creeps. Yeah, so he goes ahead with the Devour. Manages to set the last hit. Nice. So that was a pretty nice set of last hits there for him. So it's a fun little puzzle when you're the carry and you got the tower wailing on the creeps. They're going for another gank here. They have a smoke up. DDC probably going to pick up and push Outworld forward first. They do have a ward, but it's going to be too late. He starts running. Cold Snap to slow him down, and he's going to fall. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of this. He chooses to Astral Imprison the Treant, which is not optimal, but I mean, there's not much you can do in that situation. They are leaving Weaver by himself, so the way they built this lineup, they're able to roam with their team, and Weaver still can get a little bit of farm because he can be an offlaner. He can also be like a safe lane carry kind of farmer, and he's doing pretty well for himself. He's actually leading Lifesteal on last hits now, which is nice for him. Rabbit got his burn going. He does have the Doom as well. Nature's also level 6. And he's going to just try and work down these trees. Nature's realizing they're going to fall, tries to pull him back, but he's going to get a good 2 last hits out of there, and that's something you don't want to do as Nature's is feed people the trees for extra experience. These guys are just hanging out mid again. DDC actually has an Invis rune, just brutal. Another Cold Snap. Black's going to fall. He's not going to be able to make it out. Oh, Demons does come in with the stun. They might be able to turn this here on DD. No, Black makes it out. DD healing up. Oh, geez, and DD falls to Nature's is all beautiful. So in that case, Black had a chance and was able to use Imprisonment to buy himself time. One of the nice things about OD using Imprisonment to save you or your allies from certain death. Demons with a nice rotation comes in just in time to stun there on DD and hold him in place while he's out of position. If he hadn't been there, they would have gotten the kill on DD and Invoker would have died because they would have kept going. I mean, they're not scared of him being there. June enjoying the brief respite, just farming to his heart's content. He's going to clear these creeps out, and looks like he's choosing to push the tower because it's just auto-attacking into the wave. So he fucked up the deny, and he also fucked up his last hit. Probably not happy about that. Gets the bug off, so that's going to chew away at him. And he's going to fall. I don't think he's going to be able to get through this. Weaver hoping for the last bit of damage. Nice last hit there. Nature's was ready to TP in, but wasn't necessary. Demons here just harassing Rabbit, forcing him back with a sandstorm. He doesn't have a sentry to keep him in sight. Let's go back to this mid lane. Just kind of curious to see how things are going. OD farming up his items pretty well. Looks like he's going for just power treads, skipping the Midas. Invoker, I think, is going for a Midas. I think, depending on what he has, or based on what he has. And Black's just tired of getting shivved by random people, so he actually has a sentry ward there. I don't know who was placed by, but oh, they're going on Rabbit. Rabbit backing up, does have the tree and armor keeping him up, but it's going to be too much damage. Here we see the combo with the shackle, and the tree's just brutal. Not much you can do against that. So 3-3, both sides with 3 kills. And starting to tip towards CIS's favor, at least on the XP graph. Still in favor for LGD on the gold front. Both teams doing pretty well for themselves. If we look at like kind of key heroes, we can see how they're doing on net worth. Doom's got pretty good farm. Next are Nature's and OD. Lifesteal is kind of suffering there on that front. So it's still pretty even, and I mean we can see that in the graphs as well. They're going to try for a gank here on June again. This time they don't have an invis rune to help. It seems like every time Reba goes for a gank, he's got an invis rune. He's been pretty lucky there. Treant, I think, using this to heal, but he might also be just preparing him for a tower dive. June senses something. He knows he's got this ward up, and he sees them coming in, so he's going to back up. Doesn't feel like dying today. He does have infest, so if he gets a chance, he can jump into creep and get a brief respite there. Treant's soaking up some XP here in the bottom, and Doom is... What is Doom doing? Where's Doom? Oh, okay, he's pushing top. I thought he might be farming mid, but... So he's got a slow now. He's got the frost attack. Rabbit doing an interesting sort of blend of things here in terms of the creeps he's been grabbing, not really sticking with one in particular. Treant, I'm not sure why he's so far back. Maybe he's scared of being ganked. He could be a little bit further forward, getting some experience, but he's just hanging out. He might just be keeping an eye on the map here, trying to choose where to living armor. Not sure why he's still there, to be honest. Oh, decides to move out now. No, still hanging out there. So, I don't know. He's being cautious, but maybe a bit too cautious. He does not have any wards up, so that might be why. And he doesn't have an invis either. It's going to be a haste rune top, and Black is aware of this, but he just sent his bottle back? No, he didn't get the bottle at all. We'll see who decides to pick it up, and it's going to be actually Rabbit who gets the haste. Black was a little bit too slow on that. He's working on a Midas as well. So Black with a Midas. Yao wants to get a Midas. Rabbit does have a Midas recipe. So pretty Midas heavy this game here. I imagine... Oh my gosh. Inflame also getting a Midas. So that's, I think, 2 Midases on either team. Weaver not getting a Midas, but will Lifesteal get a Midas? Doesn't look like it. Jumps in the Sand King. This is going to be a pretty strong initiation here. It looks like they're probably going to want to go on Yao mid. Maybe not. They're going to see if they can pick off Weaver top. But they're probably going to want to swing to another target. They're waiting for someone to appear. I think they see DDC. Yeah, they see DDC. They want to jump in on him. Weaver's coming in to help. Nice. The shot doesn't time anything, but is he going to get the stun off? He gets the stun off. He throws it in on June, but he's going to fall anyway. Weaver backs away. Io takes a lot of damage, but he's going to make it through there okay. And that was a nice gank from CIS there. They targeted the hero that was more vulnerable. Black moving up here. Will he notice the Weaver? Weaver's going to... no. Weaver decides not to attack. Actually gets out before Black notices that he was there. LGD is going to try and push bottom tower, and CIS meanwhile is defending top. So 4-4 is a pretty close game. Both teams performing pretty well. LGD starting to pull ahead here on the gold front with their Midases. Although CIS does also have Midases, but say LGD, the kills are even, but I think the lane's been a little bit stronger for LGD with the ganks mid and everything. And they haven't been losing heroes that are as key. Wind Ranger trying to hold him off a little bit with her power shot. Not going to do much to help that. I think they're going to take this tower. DD using his Leech Seed to heal the creeps. And I think they're going to last hit. Io wants to deny it, knows it's not worth it. Not worth the life. DD's been neglecting a little bit here on the healing. He does have it off cooldown. Not sure why he hasn't healed one of the towers. Okay, doing it now. Going to heal. Nope. Going to heal someone random. Someone. Okay. Lane up here top. Probably going to look for an opportunity to heal up his towers when he gets a chance. Smoke again here from LGD. And you notice these teams here, they roam and they smoke because wards are so valuable, but wards don't spot people who are invisible in smoke, and smoke actually doesn't even get detected by sentries. So if you're wondering in game, well, how can I make stuff happen? Consider getting a smoke, because that's actually one of the best ways to engage on someone. Rabbit's going to pop out. He's going to get the Doom off. He does have invisibility, so he can actually hang out here. And they're going to wait for Black to move forward a bit. Black, a little bit uncertain, doesn't quite know what's happening. Knows that a lot of people are missing. Invoker managed to get the tower without a contest, so that's pretty good for them. And actually, if CIS had gone into that, they would have gotten destroyed. Because they're all in position, and the TPs coming in wouldn't have worked out for them. Inflame getting the dust. If he dusts some Sprouts Weaver, they can probably go on him and finish him off. Oh, Doom on Inflame. Inflame going to back up. Gets caught with Overgrowth. Nothing's going to happen for him there. June actually tried to deny that. It's pretty cheeky on his part. LGD got some pretty good momentum here. They might be able to take top tower. Just got a free pick off there on the Natures. And I love playing natures, but that is one of his weak points. Is early on when he doesn't have farm, he's really easy to kill because you just stun him and you can kill him, and he can try and TP out, but if you can't get his trees up, he's gonna die. If you do get inside his trees, then he's definitely dead. But you know, that's the whole thing about balance. So meanwhile, LGD takes top tower pretty quickly, and that's going to help them continue building on their goal advantage, which is at 5,000 now. So pretty even on XP, but LGD just keeps getting those last hits. Weaver continuing to farm, Doom and Invoker continuing to farm, Doom participating in ganks, getting those kills off. Inflame actually in the Radiant jungle. This is a strategy that works sometimes, but it's also risky because if they come find you, you're pretty dead. There's not much of a way for you to escape. DDC gonna put down a ward, I imagine? Is he gonna put down a ward? No, he doesn't have a ward. He's just kind of moving out. They decided to put the ward here to protect the Weaver while he was farming in lane as they were pushing the tower. Gonna try and pick off a tree, but figures it's not worth it. It's too annoying. Denies the rune, I think, with the Forge Spirit. These guys are about to expire, so he figured he could harass, but the extra damage from Black, I think he gets that last hit there. So, yeah. Here, Lin duking it out a little bit with June. He might choose to throw the bugs on him, maybe. Not sure what he's planning on doing. He's wrapping behind. Oh, and he throws down the ward. So they give him a ward to put down. This ward here will provide vision, and it's not as risky in terms of getting dewarded as this ward here lower down. Or sorry, the ward that this is a pretty typical ward here. Here on this spot. Io and Demons moving up. Lysel just hanging in the jungle, probably waiting for the lane to push back. He's moving out now, but okay, yeah. He's gonna jump in the man. With the epicenter, gonna throw the shackle, manages to stun him. He gets the ult off though, and Weaver just such an annoying hero to play against with that friggin' what's it called? Time lapse? Yes. Yes, I remembered. I know all the skills, sometimes I forget the names. With the friggin' time lapse, such an annoying ability, just lets you get out of pretty much anything. Inflame here is gonna push the bottom tower. Invoker showing his worth here, gonna just keep pushing. Hopefully get the tower down. Those trees so tanky. And he's going to scout ahead with this guy. He might even, I think he's going to pull it into the camp so he can just distract the aggro and get them cleared out. Or he's just going to run it. Run, little truant! This is a freaking weird-ass truant, but anyways. Inflame going to keep damaging it. Rabbit comes in. Will he doom? No, he's not going to doom. He's just going to push these creeps off the tower. He doesn't really have anyone to back up, and I imagine he doesn't think he'll be able to kill Inflame, which is probably correct. Inflame looks like he's maybe thinking about continuing to jungle here in their jungle, but if he's not careful, he's going to get jumped in second by DDC, and then TPing out. Yeah, so he knew he was coming. He saw it coming there. DD working towards a mech. Yao making necro books. Necro, a pretty great item on Invoker because with your Forge Spirits, you can push really hard. You get the Necro Book, you get your Forge Spirits, and you got a little summon army going on. Not sure. I think Inflame was trying to scout there with those guys, but didn't really achieve much on that front. I imagine this game is probably going to go in LGD's flavor. Their flavor and their favor. Black farming in the jungle using the orb to his advantage does have his essence orb maxed out. So he's able to use the orb pretty consistently without fear of it draining all his mana away. LGD is looking to push bottom tower here. Let's see how they do. Wind Ranger trying to get an idea of what's coming, but uses her arrow a little bit early. Inflame going to keep farming, as Nature's does, working on a Necro Book. Weaver, I think, is making... Yeah, he's making his Lincolns. And he actually has the recipe up, so he's going to go ahead and grab that. And I don't think they can contest this here bottom. That's a fort. And looking for the engage. Demons is coming out. He's going to blink in. Stun on Rabbit. Rabbit, Sunstrike, doesn't hit. Black, oh, they just didn't get a finish off anyone. Invoker did wrap around and grab Inflame. June... So LGD actually fighting off that engage pretty efficiently there. Their gold advantage showing they got pincered in. Doom actually took a ton of damage, but he's almost half health now. He got the regen from his Scorched Earth and was able to survive that initial encounter and threw the Doom down on I think Lifestealer. I don't remember. Funny that I don't remember this fight just happened. Level 3 Necro Book now on Yao. Wind Ranger does manage to pick off the Treant with the ward there, providing vision. Treant kind of vulnerable when he doesn't have his ulti up. So sort of like easy to kill. He has a mechanism recipe. I'm wondering why it's not made. Maybe he put it in his inventory when he died and doesn't make it when you're dead. Something like that. Sometimes things like that happen in Dota. You just drop the item and pick it up again. Generally, it sorts itself out. Let's watch. I'm kind of curious. We're going to watch the inventory while we witness this here. Yeah, so he reses in the mech, makes itself. Makes sense. DDC has an urn up. And, oh, he's getting jumped by Natures, and Natures does not give a fuck. He's got the rest of his team coming in to help. Alts. Oh, but DD with the overgrowth holds Inflame in place. He does get Sunstruck. Rabbit gonna try and throw the damage in here that's needed. He does get stuck in the trees for a bit. The other two are gonna get away, so that's a trade right now. Nature's for Rubik. Sand King blinks away. Wind Ranger gets out. That went pretty well for both teams, but I'd say a death on Nature's is worth more than a death on Rubik. Although DD did blow his ult, but it has a pretty small cooldown. Overall, I'd give the advantage to LGD there on that. And they're just continuing to build their gold advantage. CIS have lost all their outer towers, and LGD have lost none. And that's 1,000 gold per tower. That's 6 towers. It's 6,000 gold and tower gold that they have over CIS, including, and then they have kill and farming gold as well to build on that. Doom with a BKB, nice and tanky. Got the mech to heal him up during team fights. They're gonna want to try and take Roshan and then push it to tier 3. Inflame's still working on his Necro Book. This is pretty slow farm for Nature's Prophet, and I imagine he's not too happy about that. I think Lin might be grabbing, maybe, or Doom. Probably going to be either Doom or Weaver going to grab the Aegis here. CIS might be suspecting IO spots with the arrow, but LGD is just going to finish him off. Not much they can do to prevent it. IO, if he had a Force Staff, might have been able to get in there and steal it, but Shackles is onto nothing, and not much going to happen for him there in that department. He doesn't manage to pick off the Necro dude, which gives him more health, but takes a lot of damage. They're not going to be able to fight because of it. They're just going to back up the base. And I think LGD is going to push here. They pushed back a few heroes due to low health. They might take advantage of it and go in. Sand King waiting for the chance here to initiate with his ultimate. If they do this properly, I mean, OD has his ult. That's a ton of damage. Sand King Epicenter, also a bunch of damage. Lifesteal popping out, more AoE damage. So they can, if they initiate correctly, they could potentially hold him off for a bit. LGD just so aggressive. They have the illusions from Doom tanking up on the tower. Lin up here in front damaging. He's not too worried about being focused down because he does have his ult. Sand King going in. And no Epicenter from him. Doomed on OD. And they're just going to keep working down the tower. Oh, June popping out. Weaver drops back into the fight. So not much here happening for... Oh, they did pick off on Rubik. I didn't notice that. Demons just gets destroyed in seconds. Black's still fighting even with the Doom on him. Pretty interesting to see. They're going to finish off the tower. Denied by June. But June might actually fall to the Forge Spirits that are working down on him. But I think he's going to get away. Yeah, the Forge Spirits get taken down. But they're going to take the melee racks here. And there's not much the CIS can do to stop it because... LGD is just so strong with the gold advantage. It's too difficult for CIS to stop them. They're just going to keep pushing. They take out the melee racks, and he's sicking his Necro dudes on the Windrunner. Probably hoping to finish him off. Trying to hit with the Sunstrike. She avoids it. She's safe to go home. But that was a nice fight for LGD. I mean, CIS did get a pick off on Rubik, but Rubik for a melee racks and a tower, it's a pretty good trade. I mean, Rubik's cool, but he's not that cool. And taking racks wins you games. For me, like mathematically, the fact that you have a lane that's always pushing, does a ton more damage, and also gives half the gold. So as soon as you take a Rax, you're starting to build a gold advantage pretty much, because that's a potential gold source cut in half. XP also lowered. So just really brutal if you do manage to take a lane of Rax out. We'll see what Rabbit here does. He's going to keep pushing. And he knows that he's potentially in danger, but he's actually not worried about it because he's got support nearby. And if they do decide to jump in, they could probably actually turn it on them and make it into a disastrous affair for the opposing team.
Thanks.
Rabbit gets earned, but almost right afterward gets hit by the arrow. He's going to use his Burning Fire to heal up. I think he might get another urn. No, I'm just going to use the fire here. Some pretty sweet regen, so they're kind of running around a little bit aimlessly. Not sure what they're planning to do next. I'd like to see LGD group up again and push out another tower, which looks like that's what they're doing. Weaver's heading bottom. Invoker's also in position bottom. Here we have a ward from the Dire, so they actually know that DD is here, I think. He's hanging out in the trees. If I was Windrunner or Windranger, I would actually chop down these guys. Oh, well, the control's not working, but anyways. I'll cut down those trees, and you can avoid having tree and hang out on that side as well, which is nice. He's going to go invisible, maybe? I don't know. Alacrity on the melee Necro guy. It's going to lifesteal to all hell. And this is looking pretty rough here for CIS. They're having trouble defending again, and those summons just working on the tower. The rest of the team putting in damage from here and again. OD takes out the Necro guy, but doesn't manage to save himself from damage. DD gonna throw down the Overgrowth. They're gonna pick off June. I don't think he can get out in time. They're leaving him behind. They do know he's dead, so Windranger does manage to deny, but that's still a lifestealer that's died. Meanwhile, Nature's is pushing top, which is sort of cute, but not going to do much. I mean, he takes the tower, but they're losing the team fight bottom. Nature's just doesn't have enough farm to do much for his team. He does have a Necro 3, but it's not enough. DD beating away the Rax with a huge treat base damage, and he's just going to keep going. And they're trying to go in. June wounds on DD, but that's not really a good target to attack because he's so tanky and doesn't really matter if he dies. They manage to take DD out, but Lynn's going to keep pushing. Ulti's back. Timeslap going to just remove all that damage. Doom working down on the Natures. Looking to take out Black. He's got the Shivas. He's going to slow him down. He's running him down. Takes him out. And Windranger might fall as well. Gets the crit off. GG. They call it GG. So that's 24 minutes and it goes in LGD's favor. Really well played by LGD. They just... I like CIS's lineup, but what LGD did was they took advantage of their teamfight capability and the early strength they had with all those spells and the synergy. It really made CIS pay for their mistakes. So well played. They were even for a little bit early on, but they were trading kills efficiently and just building on the farm on the heroes that really needed it. The Invoker, the Weaver, and the Doom. So really well played by LGD. Curious to see who's going to win this series. I don't know yet, even though it's been done for a while, but yeah, curious to see.